at the Nuggets from Within podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Welcome to the Nuggets from Within podcast. I am your host, Apostle Teresa Johnson. Can I ask you a question? Why are you limping? Yep. Why are you limping? Because when you're limping, that means there's an uneven protective walking pattern that can cause injury or pain, and it can lead to fractures. It can lead to sprains. It can lead to falls, and you're putting all of the weight on one leg. And so, if you let that go on unchecked, it can be persistent pain, which leads to secondary pain. Now, I remember I was walking and I had hip pain and I couldn't understand what was going on. And it got to the point where my daughter would have to take me by the elbow and prop me up just so I could walk. And I could walk straight, but then I had to stop and reposition myself before I made a turn because I couldn't make sharp turns. And it was so painful that I started rocking from side to side. And finally, I went to the doctor, and the doctor came out and he said, "Oh, you have a sprained hip with a little bit of bursitis and a little bit of sciatica." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Calm down, calm down." And I said, No, because I don't pick up hitchhikers because they get in your vehicle and you don't know what they're going to do. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull over and I'm going to drop Bert and Cy off. And so when I got home, I was still limping. And the Lord said to me, "Walk straight." And can I tell you that when you have a physical limp, that means that you anticipate pain, you anticipate pressure, you anticipate what's going to be next. You know something is coming because you're used to feeling that same thing. We expect the limp, and we think that based on our condition, I'm supposed to limp. And so because we limp in the natural realm, we take those same traits over to the spiritual realm. And you've been spiritually limping. But God didn't give you no spiritual limp, just like he didn't give you the physical limp. And so sometimes the spiritual limp will cause you to be in a position where you have mental instability or where you're being triggered, and that's creating spiritual instability, or there's a misalignment that's causing you mental exhaustion. And then the secondary thing kicks in where you may be suffering with anxiety or depression or low self-esteem. And ultimately, you have been limping spiritually. And the Lord says, walk straight. God didn't give you no limp. And so I want to encourage you. You may have just come out of a relationship where the relationship ended abruptly, but that didn't make you disabled. Or you may be in a situation where financially you may feel like you're badly bent, but you ain't broke. Or you may have just lost a job and it could have been crushing, but you still have your expertise. You still have your integrity, and you can still do exploits. And so I'm going to give you a command. Hut, hut, hut one. Hut, hut, hut two. Hut, hut, hut three. Stand up and walk straight. God didn't give you no limp.